on. My hair is on. It's like craziness. Hello, hello. Ooh. Who's here? Who's here? So let me just fix the light. You know, I can't wait for one day when I go live that thing there in the ceiling is gone. Hello, Marilyn. Carolyn, you just finished showing seeds. What did you sow? How is everyone? If you're in the chat, let me know you're here. Hello, Remy. Hello, hello. It's Sunday already. It just feels like it was Friday. So, Marilyn, you're going to laugh a little bit. I had like this big vision of like me sitting down and like organizing this live and structuring it and doing like the perfect thing like I always do. And I was like, okay, so the kids are going, like one of my kids is going to bed early and the other two are going to bed like around 7, and I'm going to finish editing the video that's coming out on Tuesday and work on my live after. Well, that did not happen. So I'm rebel. I'm like, I've been sowing some seeds for 7 years now. So I'm sure whatever you throw at me as questions, I'll probably have the answer, and it's not going to be structural at all. So you started peppers and cabbage. So my peppers are started. My hot peppers are popping up. And I think so I staggered my hot peppers. So this year I did what Marilyn suggested, to sow hot peppers before. And I sowed like a week after my my sweet peppers. So I'm just going to open my phone because sometimes I miss some stuff in comments. Don't forget to do a thumbs up. So my peppers are started. I was supposed to start cabbages today on the 16th, but I am exploring a new possibility. So I want to do a combination of winter sowing and sowing in plug trays. Plug trays is brought some of my material with me. So a 50 cell tray that has 50 pockets of 2 inches. And like I did this last year for beets and it did work out perfectly. So I'm kind of hesitant, like instead of sowing them on March 16th, waiting 2 weeks and sowing them like a winter sowing method, putting them on top of my bunny cages. They are in the tunnel right now. And I'm looking at the temperature at least for the next week. I don't have lower than -3. So if I put a dome and I cover them during the night, I think I can spare. I think I have 1 or 2 trays of cabbage related and leafy greens and spinach, lettuce, arugula, and all of that. I think I have 2 trays. This year I am starting to be limited in growing racks. I used to have 4. I'm down to 2, and I need to make it work. So I just like sacrificed 1 tray of onions. I'm just going to go and plant the ones that I have. And if I need, I'm going to go at the nursery and just buy 1 plug. It's usually $2.25. Maybe probably will be up this year. And I'm just going to complete what I'm lacking. I think I have like shallots and a good conservative white onion. So I scrap that. I might not sow my paste tomato. I might just buy it at the nursery and just grow my regular heirlooms that I really enjoy. That's probably another 2 trays. So if I can remove another 2 trays with the cabbage, I would do like an experiment, like winter sowing and seeing. And cabbages for me is like my nemesis. I've never been able to start inside cabbages and sow them outside. The only way I was able to is in the tunnel. I sowed them, put the domes on, put the cover during the night. In the morning, remove the cover, remove the domes. And that was the only way I was able to have good looking seedlings. So I'm going to try that. Pass. Oh, not fun. Not fun. Yeah, we did have like this weird thing going on just before dinner. It was weird. You must be tired. Didn't you go pick up something? It does suck. It's not. It's not the snow. I think it was like ice. Wait. Okay, I'll go do that. I always forget. Okay. I can't read you right now. I am in the YouTube tab. Okay, so live. Live reaction. Is it gone? It should be gone. Boing, boing, boing. So you got a little bunny. Hello, hello. Is it? So who's here tonight? Who's here? Wait. I'm trying to. Desmond? No, is it Desmond? Yes, it's Desmond. I'm terrible with names. So, yoo-hoo! Nice. So, who's sowing seeds? What have you sown? I did forget to mention something. So, we are Sunday. So, at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, Lynn's video from Bucket List Homestead from our project that we're working on, March Molass Madness. Her video is out now. And this week, the way it's functioning, she has the full meal and I have the side dishes. So I've watched her video and she's talking about the side dishes because she did try the side dishes that I am doing. And the face she made when she tried them was like, ooh, I can't wait to make them. So if I have a moderator that's here, that I can put Lynn's video if you want to go check this week 3 of March Molasses Madness. Tomatoes, peppers, can't miss apparently. Tomatoes, some people I know started sowing tomatoes. I'm on the late side for tomatoes because I'm so scared that they're going to be trees. They end up being so tall, and we always have that the week before you're supposed to sow them. I go out, in, out, in, out, in. I lack so much space on my shelf, and they suffer so much that last week. So I try to, towards the end of month of March, early April, where I sow my tomatoes. Hello, Karen. I used to sow peppers in tomatoes the first week of April. I don't like what my peppers did. They didn't do much, but my tomatoes always do great if I don't lose track of them and lose them to blight with all my craziness I had last year. Planting nets weekend. I didn't plant anything yet. We spent the weekend doing spring cleaning. I am definitely spending at least a couple of minutes every day decluttering my house. So yesterday I had this pile, I don't know for you guys, but we have multiple places in our house that we kind of accumulate stuff. And then when we can allocate time and our brain is free of everything else. We just pick up stuff and I declutter. I'm in that zone of like spring cleaning. I'm so happy he and my husband started cleaning the shed and where the animals are so that we're early this year, because usually we always are late. I forgot to check what germinated today when I came home. That's not like me. You must be tired. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know the feeling. The first year I started my seeds, I did not have grow lights and like I had like window seals and I was everywhere in the house. It was invaded with seedlings. It was crazy. I use the Costco shelving. Like I had like multiple setups, but the one I prefer the most is the stainless steel Costco shelving. It's 48 feet long by 18 inches deep. And I am able to, if I utilize the top shelf, which is I would have to put lights directly onto my ceiling, I would have 8 growing racks and every rack can have 4. So I would be able to have at least 30, depending, well, 30 is a lot. Maybe I would have more because I'm going to put some in the tunnel, but I would at least have 8 shelves of 4. But we need to figure out how to put them on the ceiling because they do radiate heat, the lights that I have. But I feel your pain. It's going to be a hectic mess. And when the beginning of month of May is going to happen, you're going to go, what was I thinking? Was I crazy? Was I a nutcase when I sowed all those seeds? But then you're going to plant everything. And then the year after, you're going to do the same thing. Like you forgot that craziness jungle going on. Hi Dave. I just bought 10 flats of plants from the greenhouse. Your nursery's open? My nursery only opens in May. That's nice. We make it work. We make it work. No worries. You're going to think of me. What was I thinking? Oh my God, what have I done? Okay, so before I start and reading your questions, I just want to say that when I started, we were so financially tight. I probably took a penny and divided it in 10 if I could. And everything had to be bought, like recycled, free, used, free that needed to be fixed with a lot of love and like redneck style. That's how we started 7 years ago. And I think I was 3 years in. My husband sent me a marketplace ad. He's like, well, this greenhouse is closing and they're selling their bulbs. They're not LEDs, they're T5s or T3s. Anyways, they radiate heat, so it's the older generation. They're $10 a pop. So I'm like, let's go. And we went twice to go pick it up. It was an hour from my house. And the first time we went, we picked up 20, I think, or 21. And the second time we went back because some of them were damaged and so the guy messaged us the second time. He's like, we have some left. You're more than welcome to come again. And he's like, we might as well go pick them up because they're going to break. Sometimes you need extra bulbs, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up getting another one. So everything I have my growing rocks, I have 2 that are new. It's only because I needed the space and I had the space last year. My growing room changed completely and I sacrificed half of my growing room for a walk-in pantry. That was like very hard to do. So technically I would never have bought those two Costco racking. So the first one I bought was $40. It was two racks for $40. One was damaged, fixable with just a bit of strength, but they were rusted to crap. So I had the choice to paint them or just leave them as is. So we were looking into different options like sanding it and painting it. And I'm like, it's for seedlings. I don't think no one's gonna mind if it's rusted. So the ones that are rusted are now in the shed for my husband. Right now, he's using them to. We're slowly making like organizing his tools, and so at this moment, two of them are for his tools until he puts them into the shelving he's done. And I have two in the house with like the lights, and it's for the growing operation. But technically, I could have just dealt with the two that are rusted, and it doesn't matter. The plants don't care, so it does not have to be expensive. So I got the racks used, I got the lights used, and I got my growing equipment almost all used. So last year, same thing, Facebook Marketplace. And again, it was my husband that sent it to me. They were brand new, 50 plug trays, $1 each. I bought a boatload. And then these for my These are for my soil blockers. They were $1 a piece. They were brand new. I paid mine the first 20 I had, so I bought 20 like this. They were $6.95 way back, and I got them brand new for $1. And then the 10 by 20 tray, same thing. It was $1. And then the place where I got my lights were microgreens, so I got 40 of each with holes and 40 without holes. I should have never got the ones with the hole. They're not very useful at all. I should have just got 80 without holes, but I didn't know. I thought I was going to do microgreens and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, they're in my shed right now. I'm not using them. If ever I have a external growing room, I could use those because if there's an overflow of water, the water can release under it. So it wouldn't be that bad. So maybe later down the road, I'll be using them. So most of my equipment was bought used. I did buy some new because like I was looking online year after year after year, couldn't find them. But I still saw some this year, $1 a piece. But I had to go get them. They were like about 45 minutes away from my house. And like I reserved the quantities I wanted and I was able to get them. The 10 by 20 trays, brand new, the tall ones were $3.95 when I started seed starting. Now I have no idea what they are. And I also bought domes, but the tall domes, they were also $1 a piece. Those were used. Some of them were yellow, some of them were missing pieces, but I didn't mind. They were $1 a piece, and I got, I think, 10 or 20 of those. So check out every year, especially around this time of year and late during the year, the season, for deals like that. There's a lot of people cleaning out their sheds, and there's a lot of people that has deals like that. I'm going to catch up on comments. Stuff I started okay in the day, too cold at night. How's your greenhouse going, Dave? My nursery's only open May something, like the weekend of the conference, the Thursday usually before they open. Well, the one next to my house, maybe the one closer to the island of Montreal, maybe opens earlier because they do have almost 2 weeks. So my last frost date, they have 1 week. They're May 5th. So maybe their nurseries are open earlier than me. I just checked my starts. One type of peppers. Woohoo! I'm surprised. It's only been a few days. That's awesome. So I'm trying to remember what I sowed. So I have thyme, carpet thyme, a lot of sage, a lot of peppers. My eggplants are planted. A lot of flowers. So snapdragons, pansies, petunias, viola. Probably saying that one wrong. Chive, garlic chive. Actually, I have my list with me. Where's that? Okay, so I did do stratification. I did do clippings. So fireweed, St. John's Wort, blue vervain, lavender, lupin, bleeding hearts, coneflowers, soapwort, celery, peppers, hot peppers, onions, shallots, green onions, parsley, rosemary, basil cuttings. So I had a basil plant that I bought from the store, and I want to do multiple cuttings to create like big plants when I go outside, because I did read, if you didn't catch that on my top 10 herbs, basil is said to repel mosquitoes. So, when I'm like watering the garden, I'm always like this. I want to put basil everywhere. So I'm doing a lot of clippings of basil. I did clippings of my lavender plant. It thawed out, and it looked like I could cut a couple of cuttings. I also did cuttings from inside the house. I had a rosemary plant. I did that. Lemon mint, sage, I said that. Hyssop, echinacea, petunias, hollyhocks, my loofah gourds, my snapdragons, Bernard, roselle, eggplant, all my sweet peppers, and clary sage. That's what I've sown. That's a lot. Just to think of it. Like I'm looking at everything I sowed, and I feel like I've sown a lot, but like there's so much more I have to sow. I also have a cell of pak choi that I seeded very heavily because I didn't know the vitality of the seeds. I saved everything sprouted. That's nice. My favorite are the 3x6 trays. I think 3x6. I don't know those. So there is one tool that I use, the mini soil blocker. This year, almost exclusively, I'm using, there's dirt everywhere because I didn't clean it. So this is a mini 20 soil blocker. And I'm using that, my cell trays of 50 holes and 72 holes. And I'm using the mesh tray I just showed you, and it seems to be doing great. I don't know the 3x6. Hello, Jatam. My let pot's starting to sprout. So I had the first original, the 12 pot, and I was super blessed with a second one, and I sowed I think it's 21. In there I have 2 tomato plants, I have some green onions, I did some lemon balm and other stuff, and it's starting to sprout. So I've decided, like, I'm starting to do the video, but I was requested from them to do an evolution video and a harvest video. So I'm really loving the max one, and like having fresh herbs. I really, really, really love having both set up on my counter. It's really fun. It's a fun product. It's viola, right? Okay, good. Colin's sick. I have to work with my seedlings. Awesome. So I've made the executive decision this year. I will not have a early spring. So technically I have like a spring garden that's going in. That one I'm doing, but I used to do one prior. So winter spring garden with the with the covers and all of that. And I decided this year I was not going to do it. But with the 2 hydroponic system I have, I kind of have that. So I'm ordering new sponges this week. So I'm going to put more basil, more cilantro. So I'm really enjoying that part. Obviously, it's not like a lot like the tunnel, but I am enjoying. I did mention in one the herb video that I'm having a hard time propagating rosemary, and I finally figured it out. And it was Jotam that told me, and I should have figured that out. Like, that's like such a debutante mistake. It's not a perennial for me. So now at the end of the season, I'm going to have a couple of cuttings of multiple plants that I really, really, really love. Rosemary, I'm not saying it right. Lemon verbena, something like that. It's like amazing. Like, I just pass next to the plant and I just enjoy that. Melon sage, pineapple sage, and there's others that I'm gonna do clippings and just bring them inside. Like, I had this vision of a downstairs bathroom full of plants, so I'm hoping that one day I'm gonna be able to do that. Yes, you can propagate rosemary. It's pretty easy, actually. Um, where did I see how to propagate? Well, Google it. But since I'm doing a lot of propagation, I probably will do a video. Or let me write it down. I was actually looking for ideas for the month of April videos. And I was bashing my head this morning on the, like, not figuratively, but like as a joke. I'm like, I need ideas for videos. I have a block. And I'm like, ideas are going to pop on. So, propagate. Rosemary. There is also lavender. I do basil. I won't have other plants that I normally do cuttings. So I did place. Oh my god, I placed orders. I have one more if there's still some left. So I've placed an order for hascaps. I've placed an order for many live plants that's probably gonna arrive like late April, early May. And the last one that I'm like, okay, am I being like unrealistic? Should I wait till next year? I'm like, I have one champagne currant, and I don't think it survived. And I wanted to add 2 more, and I wanted to have 2 white currant also. But to get 3 of each, so 3 white and 3 champagne, the shipping and like the whole, if I divide 6 plants divided, did I end up getting orange mint? No, I already have orange mint. I just hope that it pops back up. I did wait. So, the banana mint was in a very bad shape, so I ordered one of those. Okay, so I took 1 banana mint, 1 berry mint, 1 sweet pear mint. So this one's a new one. And then 1 mullein plant. That one's going to be a year old. So the ones I'm going to be started from seeds this year, it's not going to do anything. A tricolor sage, a honey melon sage, a pineapple, a white sage for, I want to do smudge sticks, lemon verbena, blue vervain, and wintergreen. So I took out my mint. I had some in grow bags, so it's there. It's probably going to survive. I doubt that it's not going to survive. Mint is very hard to kill. So I took them out last week out of my tunnel. So I had banana mint, orange mint, and I had like a couple mint. And I realized that my little bunnies, when they escape, the escapees, they bit some of the markers. So some will be surprise. What am I? So I'm like one still has the orange, but I had two orange, and I had I can't remember. Like I have so much in my brain, I don't remember what I ordered last year. But that's what's coming. Uh, and if anyone has cuttings of the pink champagne or the white currant and would love to ship me in like a tiny envelope rooted clippings of white currant and champagne currant, it would be nice because it's $28 of shipping, and it comes up with the 6 of them, $18 each, which is reasonable because at the nursery last year, the currants were $16.95 each plant. Vacation are kept for May. Yes. Okay, so I am saying it right. It's hearty. It tastes and smells like bergamot. You're talking about the lemon verbena, right? So last year I purchased a plant from a nursery, and at the end of the season, I kind of not harvested everything. So I just left everything outside and died. I cried so much the week after the first kill frost. There was eggplants, peppers, tomatoes, herbs. There was so much I could have harvested, but I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I am really, really being very careful this year. So when the plug trays will arrive, I'm just going to up pot them, put them like in a location. And like, there's a lot of projects that, instead of making like the big projects, I'm kind of dividing the projects this year. So the orange mint, I wasn't able to taste it at all. Like I didn't do anything. I had orange mandarin. I didn't. I didn't taste it at all. Why Richards is 3 hours away from the conference? I know Richards is in Ontario, but I'm not sure what you're saying. So from what I've read, the pink champagne currants is like the less tart. So that's why I wanted to get some. Hello. It would have been nice to go for sure. But since I don't know if I'm actually going to the conference, like I'm trying to save, like that purchase, like kind of was like excessive, but a lot of it will be for medicinal purposes and learning a lot. So I'm almost convinced that I'll be able to go, but I'm making everything I can to go, but like in case. It is far, but you know, for the fact that they're shipping plants, and the amount I ordered, the shipping cost that they said was like reasonable, so I don't mind. And I'm gonna know very soon if my orange mint has not sprouted. If it has not, I'll just call them and ask them if, since the order's not shipped, if I can just add one plant of orange mint to my order and just like pay it. I'm probably going to know like within the next week, probably like within the first week of April. Why can't it be closer? My friend used to go to Richards on a whim. That would be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous for me to go there. If we are able to walk all of those rows and those greenhouse, ooh la la, that would be dangerous. So the white currant, I found them at bambooplant.ca. in Ontario. The shipping, that's the one I said. It was like, it's $21 for like one plant. So the plant is $18 and it's $20 of shipping. So I did also find it l'euro, le L-E-R-R-A-U-L-T. But I think you have to pick it up. I don't think they ship. Yeah, something like that. L'euro. L'euro? It sounds like it. Okay, so I wrote down a video idea. Tea classes and ooh, that would have been nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. They do ship? I did not see that. Can you send me the page? I looked everywhere on their website and it said pick up. Okay, so let's start. I received. You did. Okay. Now I'm curious. Because I did see white currants there. La Ro. No, there's an L. Okay. Let's go currant. I'm doing this live on YouTube. Okay, so pink champagne. It's the, oh no, they only have the pink champagne. They don't have the white. Ah, shoot. Okay, so, but you have the white, no? You already sent me clippings of white. If my memory's correct. So if I go add 3 to cart, let's see. Okay, proceed to checkout. So, check out. I know, I wouldn't know how much it cost. I would have to fill everything. Let's see. I'm going to build momentum and tell you how much it cost for 3 plants. As I'm doing this, if you have any questions about seed starting, put them in the comments. Okay, so I'm having a hard time. I received plants that I'm searching for you now. Thank you. Pink and white. Yeah, that's what Verona bred. But I don't think my only pink survived. I don't even know if the white, black, or red you sent me survived. They were like in really rough shape. You too. Have a nice night. I'm glad to hear that Annie is trying to find a video. I'm glad to hear that Annie's trying to find video ideas as she's doing the live stream. I need to video for this week. I'd like to film tomorrow and then live tomorrow night. Well, I try to use this book as ideas, and so the month of March was pretty much decided for me because of the March Molasse Madness video. So every Thursday and every Sunday there was a video planned for me, but like I wanted to create content also that was not baking around Molasse, because it is sowing season, and like I did my top 10 herbs, my top 10 flowers, and I have another one coming very soon. And there is one more that I think I'm going to be doing, but I'm not sure. But then month of April's coming, so March molas is going to be done. So now instead of having like all my Thursdays decided and all my Sundays planned, now I have like my Sundays are planned, but Tuesdays and Thursdays I need to come up with ideas that inspires me, that I want to share. Good night. It happens to all of us. Or what you can do is go like turn around like multiple times and just like point one and do that one. Okay, so I did write a little bit of notes, and we're 41 minutes in. I said I was going to talk about seeds. Does everyone know where, like, well, first, does anyone have questions, specific questions they want me to ask, want me to answer? And then I'll go from there. So I talked about the lights. I talked about the racks. My material. There is soil blockers that I'm using. I have two more. So this is the 4. And this is the 20. I really, really love these two. I have the 1.5 inch and the 4 inch. But if I had to only pick 2, I would go exclusively with these 2. Like with these 2, you can have like something very good going on. I did do a soil blocker series last year, how I use them in the material, like the which plug trays I use, which like all of that. I did go into details, but this year, I don't think I showed up potting last year. I don't remember. I would have to go look in my notes. So I talked about materials, the lights, the shracks. Well, as you guys, I don't know who's still here. I'm seeing 5, 6 people. I'm going to say where I get my seeds. So I am in Canada, but I don't necessarily only get my seeds from Canada. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. So Quebec-wise and Canada-wise, I use Vizé seeds. I buy my potato seeds from them, a lot of bush berries from them. They have good hybrids, good pricing, good bulk pricing also. My provider bean comes from there. That's my bush bean. I really love provider beans. What else do I get there? Like there's a couple of peppers, my Sensation. No, they don't. I looked because I have a free shipping coupon with Vizzy. And I ordered my Haskaps from there. And the first thing I checked was if they had white currant. It would have been nice. It would have been like one problem solved. So Vizé is one of them. Rainbow Seed is a new one for me. I really, really love them. It's a very small company. The shipping rates are very affordable. I think it's $4 and sometimes it's free shipping. They come in like little plastic little bags, but there's not much information on them, so you have to go back on the website. Vizzy has limited information sometimes, and other times they have a lot. So that's down there. What else have I ordered? So that's out east. Now Quebec, there's Jardin Les Coumènes. That's in Quebec. Le potager ornemental de Catherine. I'm going to write this down because it is in French. Potager ornemental de Catherine. I met the lady at an event. She's like a very passionate woman. What else? Solana seeds. Le potager ornemental de Catherine, she has an English version of her website. Solana seeds, also in Quebec. Terre Promise. I know I'm forgetting one. There's one other that I buy in Quebec. Ta promise. Marilyn, help me out. We buy from them. So there's Ta promise and I Kumen. Semencier quoi? Let's see. So les semences semences du portage et semences ancestrales. Those are two that I bought, but those are like more French. I don't think they have. I know Terre Promise has an English website. That's in Quebec. In Ontario, I use Richards. There's Gaia seeds also that I've occasionally bought. Bamboo plant. I get live plants from them. And then out. Yeah, tournesol. Ferme tournesol is, this is how you write it. So it's tournesol. Like turning soil. But like tournesol is a sunflower in English, and it's beautiful. I've been a couple of times on site, and it's a beautiful space. I know there's another. No, well, there's one that I used to buy, but I no longer buy. You usually get them at nurseries. Okay, so that's in Quebec, and out west there's West Coast Seeds. And West Coast Seed, I am an affiliate with them. I like a lot West Coast Seeds. They have a lot of varieties, bulk pricing available. They have good choice. But sometimes, depending what you order, the shipping cost can be more expensive. In Canada, shipping is like so expensive right now. It is ridiculous. And then in the United States, I get seeds from Baker Creek. They have the most beautiful, rare seed collection I have ever seen. Same thing. If I have the privilege of walking in those greenhouses and visit, I think like it's going to be like a romantic walk that I would have. I would be like an aha moment all the time. M.I. Gardner. M.I. Gardner is a very, very, very good for like starters. They have smaller seed packs. They're $2 Canadian each. The shipping is very affordable. And there's a lot of information online attached with M.I. Gardner. So I can't remember what his name is. I know it's the Michigan gardener, but what was his name? Is it Eric? No, it's not Eric. Anyways, so he has a channel online, YouTube, and he explains a lot. There's a lot of content out there associated with a lot of the seeds that he has over the years. Did you find what you wanted to top your... No, I didn't look actually. Like this vermiculite, I didn't search, and this is like, I made a list of the stuff that I needed, and that was like plus. Like it was like, I scrapped that. So that amount of money, I'm putting it towards the conference. And there's like other stuff that I needed that can wait. And I'm putting that also towards the conference. So M.I. Gardner, Baker Creek, Johnny Seeds. So Johnny Seeds is a big company. They have a lot. They have also videos, a lot of training videos. They also use the soil blocking, so they have videos on that. They have a lot of hybrids. They have greenhouse. So it's for small gardeners, but it's also oriented commercial growers. I don't think I'm forgetting any in the United States. The sad part when you order from the United States is the delay. So if there's things that I need now, I have a tendency of going for, in small quantities, I go for local. If I need big quantities, and it is even with the exchange rate and the higher price of the shipping, sometimes per pound or per grams. Sometimes it's cheaper for me to buy US. I know it's like, oh, I should buy local, but like I want to make sure that my budget is stretched as long as I can. So that's that. I did change also. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm just going to go on with stuff that I do, that I've written down. So I did change a couple of things. My growing time. So usually I would start Terra Edibles for beanies and tomatoes. I know this name. Terra Edibles. There's one I forgot. Fruits and Seeds. They are near New York. I really love that website. No, that is wrong. Don't do that. Hello, Vic. I'm not entirely sure what I did wrong. Gaia, I've ordered for them a couple of times. Okay, so here's what I used to do in the morning. I would get up, not paying attention what time it was, and just open my lights. And then before going to bed, I would close the lights. So I kind of was not giving enough sunlight to my plants. And since my lights throw out some heat, and during the night, I don't heat the location where my seedlings are, the temperature drops. So I'm switching that, and I start my siege just before I go to bed. Usually it's around 9ish. And that normally does not change. So every day of the week around 9 o'clock, I'm like either going to bed. I'm not sure what you're meaning, Vic. I am a gardener, but not a professional. I lost my train of thought. So 9 o'clock is about the time that I go to bed, between 9 and 10. So I open that, and then around noon, I close my lights. So it gives them a good amount. So 9... almost 15 hours average. From what I've read, a lot of stuff need like a long period of lights. So I always like, yeah, I have one. I just don't know where it is. And that's like part of the tools that I'm like choosing not to buy unless I find a deal, or I find the one that used to be with my Christmas tree. It was in the box and I was looking for it this year and I couldn't find it. So it's probably downstairs in on the floor. So anyways, so I normally close the lights between noon and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I give them at least 15 to 16 hours of light. This is a new one for me. And my fan used to be during the lights are open. But now I put it 24/7. I do give it a rest a couple of times, and when the temperature is not too cold outside, I just like crack the patio door next to one of the shelving, like to create like a little bit of airflow. Because I don't want to kill my fan. It's broken, like it doesn't move anymore. It's very old. It's been used a lot. Lots of love. So that's my setup at the moment. There is a programmable timer outlet available. Globe is the brand. Yeah. It's my birthday soon. I should ask that for my birthday. Early birthday present. Tools for the homestead. Okay, so in case some people have missed it, what I'm sharing right now is from the 7 years of my growing. So it's from my reading, from my experiences, from my failures, from my tried and failed miserably sometimes. And I just collected all of that and I'm sharing the knowledge that I have gathered. It could be for you, or it couldn't. I am in zone 5. So if you are lower than zone 5, sometimes what I'm saying needs adjustments. If you are over zone 5, well, then there's many things that could not apply. I'm still not seeing any questions. So I'll keep going. Okay. There's a couple of, no worries. I know, like, you like probably have more knowledge than me, but you're supporting me. Thank you. So if you're new to gardening and you like watched replay up to here, there's many places you can find your last frost date, but I find it's like the most important thing to find first, and to make it realistic. And I'm gonna go and say it again, a realistic list of what you want to grow. And the reasoning behind I say realistic is because burnout is real. If you don't believe me, run the marathon of being a homesteader, a gardener, and then a couple of years down the road, come back and talk to me, and you'll realize that burnout is real. So a realistic list of what you want to grow. And from there, it's like a process that kind of happens fast when you're used to it. But when you're not used to it, it kind of gets overwhelming. So I am in the process of like revamping my setup. And I'm hoping that next year it's going to be like presentable to you guys. Because I did something this year. Well, I did do a couple things. So I went online, found my last frost date. I found it on Almanac website. Hello. We are gardeners. We plant more than... Yes, it's called tic-tac-toe version of homesteaders. Thank you. Thank you for sending me that, Karen. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go talk to my Alexa and say the name. So, at first, what I used to do is Almanac had a sewing calendar for me, like the first year. Johnny Seed also has a sewing calendar. Jardin Licoumen has a sewing calendar. There is a new one I found that is called... I wrote the name somewhere. It's a free version. I'm still very new. It's called Seed Time. And I'm enjoying it, but I didn't have enough time playing with the website. But I find it interesting. So I'm trying to create something similar than Seed Time, but like a much simpler version. But after I got my last frost date, and I read behind every seed package, there's a lot of information on a seed package. Like for example, this one, a lilac bell pepper. In the back, you have the start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost. This is like why it's so important to find your last frost, because you actually have an indication of when to start. So you can either take a calendar and count 8 weeks or 10 weeks back and start sowing there. And then it says 1/4 inch deep. It's container friendly. It needs full sun. It takes 10 to 21 days to germinate. Peppers are very long to germinate, and they enjoy the heat of a heat pad. And then it says it's 60 to 75 days to maturity. Side note on that, for peppers, when they say 60 to 75 days, it's always average. It's not like at 65 it's going to be ready. It all depends of... There's like so many variants. Watering, the sun, the heat, the nutrients, the compost. So it's always a guideline. and then plant spacing, and then they say the fruit should be 3 inches long. Sometimes when it's flowers, medicinal, you have like certain specification. And like this one, it says like to harvest peppers, use a swamp shear to cut the pepper's stem if you want to avoid plant damage. There's so many times I have like cut the heads of my pepper plants because I did not use scissors. And actually it is written on the seed package. Once pepper mature to their specialized color to the fruit, once peppers mature to their specialized colors, the fruit will become more tender. So there's a lot of information. Same thing on the Johnny seed. And the ones that don't have a lot of information, you have to go back onto the website. Should I say what's the difference between an annual or a perennial? Since we're all like pretty much homesteaders gardening. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's a trick that I've learned from Justin Rhodes. He says when you grow organically, you have to sow some for yourself, some for the critters, and some just in case you failed on some areas. So if you think you need 10, don't sow 10, sow a little bit more. If your seeds are old, if like I have seeds that are 2018, they're not past due. They're just germination rate is down. So I always assume when they're at least 4 or 5 years old that their germination is 50%. So if I need 5 plants, I sow 10, 12 maybe, because I really need a certain amount. I read a plan to build something, the seed package. What do you mean? So I said that. Some seeds require heat to germinate. Some seed require cold stratification. Some seeds, like you need to, like Roselle is always a very hard one for me. I never get past the little first true leaves. They always die on me. Stratification is like you put them in cold, either in your fridge or you put them in winter sowing setups. Sometimes surface sow. There's a couple of seeds on the package. It says not to cover them with soil. Some of them prefer darkness to germinate. Some prefer like sun. They all have specifics. Should I explain the difference between annual and perennial? Yes, I do read packages. Okay, so I'm a person that reads and follow the rules all the time. So at first, when I was like a new gardener, I read like a lot of the seed package because there was no information for me like to find out. Like I didn't even know where to get the information. It's only because I've talked to so many homesteaders and like the homesteaders I was following online that they kind of gave me certain tools like Seed Time, it's Whispering Willow Farm that introduced me, and I want to play around with it before like I create like a fail-safe method. Like I really want to play around with it. I bought Roselle seeds and they haven't ever sprouted for me. So this year I tried Solana seeds. They're in Quebec. They say I did something really stupid. You were supposed to put them in warm water for like a period of, I think it was 4 hours or whatever, and then sow them and remove the shell. I left them more than 24 hours in the water and they started to germinate and I sowed them. So I'm going to see whatever happens with that. If not, I have a second package of seed. If next week I don't have like a lot, I should have sowed all of them because Roselle is a beautiful plant that I really want those little fruits for teas. I've been trying to grow Roselle. And I'm like, I didn't even pay attention if Richards have Roselle. If they did, I should have got some. They probably do. I'm going to go check. I'm sure they do. And I'm probably going to go, oh my God, I should have. Okay, my internet's not working. Richards. Come on. Okay, so let's see if you have roselle. If they do, I'm going to be so mad. They do! Okay, it's seeds. Good, okay. They have the seeds, but they don't have the plant. I found a coffee can of seeds from late 90s. I might. Oh, nice. They have the seeds, not the plant. Okay, so. I said that. Okay, so Johnny Seed has a sowing calendar. Almanac has a sowing calendar. A lot of seed companies also has a sowing calendar. It's guidelines. You always have to find your last frost date, which you find on Almanac. You go, what is my last frost date? I did find fireweed. I've tried 2 types of stratification. There's one in the fridge. I think I have to take them out on April 7th and put them. I have to look if it's outside or under the grow lights. And I have one in a winter sowing setup in plug trays, 50 plug trays. I'm trying it out that way. I should have checked fireweed now that you say that, if Richards have that. That would be funny. I really want fireweed. If someone has fireweed at their location, they have the seeds, they don't have the plant. I did. The place, see, Richards has it, but the place I found the seeds closed. I never get them to sprout. So if anyone has a plant of fireweed, it would be nice. Share the love. I really want to try that jelly. They say it tastes like Jolly Rancher. I loved Jolly Rancher when I was a child. So just the thought of it to make, and the plant is, yeah, Remy was supposed to bring me some last year. But the time he comes down, well, now that he has his course, he probably could. If the snow melts, please. Well, worst case scenario, like shipping, I know they're probably like, they're not going to enjoy it, but we could maybe try like a small envelope. Like I just mailed like a little bubble envelope to Darren, and it was 94 cents and a lot of seeds. Like I taped the seeds to make sure that they like stay and like they pass through the envelope. I think it was $1.94 for like standard. So obviously the plant, like if we leave a little bit of water, will probably like look like it's like between life and death. But if we could either try to, when we see each other in May, if you can bring some. Okay, so I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say it to the universe. I'm going to go to the conference. And we can maybe try. You bring me maybe a couple of cuttings or seedlings. And if not, yes! Wait. I'm just going to go to the comments before I get sidetracked. So, and then if that doesn't work, well, we can try shipping. Yes. I wanted to try kombucha. I don't know if I have the time to do it, but I wanted to try. Okay. There is a trick that I do. That's one of the first thing I did. So when I found out the sowing dates, so peppers for me is, I did do a course online from the Académie Potagère that gives me like planting date for a lot of my stuff, but not all of my stuff. So example, peppers for my zone, they say that I can start sowing it March 16th. So I would do this on my sweet peppers. Like right March 16th. I don't know if you can pick it up. No, other side. Like I would write it here. And then at the end of the season, when I put all of my seeds back into my little containers next year, when I sit down and make a realistic list of everything I want to grow, well then most of the work is already done. Unless you buy like new types of seeds, you'll need to find out the new dates. The system I have right now is something I used from last year. Like I just had like a piece of paper like this, and I made the realistic list of what I wanted to grow, how I wanted to grow it, if it was direct sown, how much I needed, well, approximately how much I needed. And then from the dates that I saved from last year, I wrote the dates like, so the type of seed I want to grow, where I got it, it's like a kind of like the first part of my journal, and then the type of sowing I want to do, the amount of seeds I need to sow approximately, and then the first date here is when I need to sow the seeds, and I just leave that on my table down there, and I just go through, okay, so today I need to sow this, and I kind of have like my agenda. But I have like 2 documents and I don't like it, so I kind of want to converge both of them so that my 2 graphs actually merge together and it's less complicated for me. And I no longer want to have like written like this. I want to do a Excel sheet and classify them by sowing date and then print it. And by doing that, I'll have, instead of having 2 documents, I'll have 1. Less like multiple things. This year, I sat down, made my realistic sewing that I wanted to do, and then I had like this box. And I wrote down, like, example, my peppers, March 16, and I wrote a little paper like this, March 16, and I made like, okay, so March 16, all of these seeds need to be sown. So I have all of my package of seeds that I'm sowing for March 16th. And then I know this is for training my brain not to go back to my seed collection. Like, I've chosen those. I'm not going to sidetrack. I haven't started sowing my tomatoes, so I might end up going back to my collection, but I try not to. So this is like one of the ways that I try to restrain myself to go back to my collection. So I chose them, took them out, put them in sowing dates in those little containers, and then I just use my list, the dates, and then like sow them as is, as they come by. No, well, the back of my my SUV is quite big. So I should have enough space. I'll bring boxes. Oh no! Well, if you are, you're still in the sewing. Like, you sewed on the earlier side. Bring a quart jar to trade me one of your prepared kombucha. I don't have kombucha. I want to try. What do you want me to trade you with? Oh, wait, you want me to bring a jar to you, and then I'll come back. Okay, now I get it. Sorry. I'm going to write it down. Okay, so every year, people laugh at me. I make a list of what I need to bring to the conference because I forget. So for Karen, so 1 mason jar, you want the size 1 liter or 500 ml? And is it wide mouth or regular? I sowed my seeds in 2 weeks. Yeah, pretty much what I just said. I am starting peppers late because I grow them. Yeah, well, you have the privilege of being zone 6 and having like an awesome setup, like a real awesome setup with your greenhouse. Okay, so 1 liter. Okay, so regular. Okay. Don't try the wide mouth jars. You're going to hate me if you do. Wink, wink. I started buying occasionally wide mouth mason jars. I love wide mouth. They're so much easier to clean. And for meat, I prefer for meat and beets, like big chunks. I prefer those. Not sure if I have seed left. Well, check it. We'll see what we can do. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of pepper plants. Last year I brought pepper plants. Or was it the year before? I think it was the year before. I brought a lot of my seedlings to Angie. Okay, so that means I need to educate myself on kombucha. And I want to start my water kefir back. Like I need to find myself a schedule for my kefir, for my sourdough, and future kombucha. There is one thing I found out. So I didn't know this. So if you have a lot of ferment in your house, you can't put them close by. What I used to do is I used to have like my kefir, my fermenting food, and all of that together. I didn't know that. I don't know why, but there's a lady, one of the lady I watched that used to do fermenting. She says, you can't put all your fermenting stuff all together unless it's all food that you're fermenting. Different types of ferments, she said, to separate them. Don't know why. For germinating seeds too, wide mouths are easier. Oh, you mean like for sprouts? I love to germinate sprouts in wide mouth. I just had a thought. So, why you're saying that you're losing your pepper plant? Are they like falling? I'm wondering if it's not the mat that you added, if it's not making too much moist on the plant. I had to do sprouts again. I'm working on a project. When I was like, oh my god, what am I going to film? They don't germinate. Do you have a heat map? There, there's a trick I found with chamomile tea. The second brew of a chamomile tea. Can't remember where I saw that for peppers. They're finicky seeds, peppers. I find like the Scott towel method is like a failsafe for me if I have a hard time. Like there is one particular type of pepper, cayenne pepper, for the life of me, I can't make it germinate. So I have to sow them. I think I'm going to have to sow it again. And arroz con polo is a Baker Creek pepper that I buy. And this year is the first year that I don't have an issue with my mini soil blockers. White buds. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. On the plants? Could it be a creepy crawler? Like a larva of something? I know that I'm trying to remember. on one of the plants I was growing, or laurier, I don't know how to say that in English, the bay leaves, there was always like this white, it looked like a water, but it was not water, and it was like growing on my plant, and I as soon as that got on the plant, like it just didn't work. Well, I check lately and I can see white buds. Well, what soil are you using? I am using a mixture of seed starter and a small amount of compost. I am experimenting a lot of that green on the on my celery and on my onions. So I had like a leftover before I received my soil. I had leftover potting soil that I bought from Walmart, I think, and I have a lot of green things going on. So I think I'm going to do like a very hard decision. I know the seedlings don't like that. I think I'm going to wait that they're like very, very well established, and I'm going to just slightly remove most of the soil and then up pot them, throw out that soil. I don't think my onions I'll be able to do that, but I have a 50 plug tray of celery. It's filled with that green thing. I don't know what it's called, algae. And every time I use that soil, it always happens. And I have my fan running 24/7, so I know it's not moisture. So it must be in that soil. Okay. I am confused too. Getting cold. Oh, one last thing. So, I did show you this earlier. When I sow, and this is like, that makes kind of the third thing. When I sow, I have, this is my garden journal. This is something a lot of people don't do, and they find me crazy to do this. So, every year, I write down what I've sowed. Yeah, I think it's fungus too. What I've sowed, the company that I'm sowing with, the way that I'm sowing it, and the amount that I've sown, and I leave space for comments. So it's kind of the repetition of my other, but more detailed. So I'm trying to find out a way to only have one document. But I'm not very tech savvy, and like I have a hard time imagining. There's a lot of people that came out with like system. They offer it on Etsy, and it's super cool, super fun. But I'm having a hard time doing it. So if that Seed Time website is like so much easier for me, I'm just going to end up using it next year because it is free, and there's only like one place that you have to go. Like obviously it's new, you have to get used to it. But that's pretty much what I do. And like I write the date, and if I'm doing experiment, like I write that's propagation. And at the end of the year, I kind of go back. I kind of go back to this, and I highlight what I want to grow next year, and I like remove what I no longer want to grow. I just found my Johnny Seed calendar from a couple of years back. I wanted to show it to you. Oh, my notes of like many years back. So this was done in 2022. So this is what the sowing calendar of Johnny Seeds looks. So you have, try to do that. So you write your frost date on the website, and then it gives you like all what Johnny Seeds has as like crops, like artichokes. It's 8 weeks before your last frost. March 17 is when you start sowing them. Then you transplant them on frost-free date, and then the setting out date is May 12th. Like I had that for everything. So this is like one of the first sowing calendar I had. So there is also, now that I'm seeing that, so you don't just start all those seeds and plant them like right away. There's like procedures you need to do. And I think that was like last week's podcast subject, hardening off plants. My memory is correct. From the podcast No Borders Homestead. I missed it. I really wanted to go last week, but my son wouldn't fall asleep. And then when he ended up falling asleep, my brain was so mush. So once you've established your plant, you need to find out if it's cold hardy. So example, cabbages is cold hardy. So that means you can transplant it outside earlier. And the Johnny Seeds has very detailed on a lot of like common plants, like cabbages. I know I've seen cabbages. So broccoli, like you start it on March 17th, which is tomorrow, and you can start transplanting it outside around April 28th. Obviously, you have to check your 2 weeks after. So if you're planning on sowing it April 28th, and then you go on Meteo Media and like network, like the network place says it's gonna snow like 50 inches and it's gonna be like minus gazillion. Obviously, your plant's not gonna survive. Same thing with tomatoes. Like you need to wait after your frost date. So my frost date is around May 18th, but I never sow on May 18th. It says that you can, but I don't. Because if you transplant your tomato plant and your pepper plant and your eggplant, they love the heat. So they're going to get shocked when you're going to transplant them. And it's going to take them a while to recuperate from that shock, if they do. And then there's a reason why I'm saying this. I transplanted 100 of tomato plants on the 25th of May. And on the 28th to 29th and the 30th, there was a risk of frost. And one of the nights we actually went down to minus 0.5. I had to cover those 100 plants. It was a couple of swear words, nightmare. So there's certain things I wing, but there's certain things I don't. So cold hardy crops like spinach, cabbage can handle somewhat the cold, but there's some that I wouldn't even risk it. I didn't think of that. Let me write it down. I'm starting to lack space on my desk right now. What did I do? There's a couple of pop-ups. I'm looking for my to-do list of this week. Where is it? Oh, okay. So cinnamon, let me write this down. I lost my pen. So cinnamon. Okay, I wrote it down. Okay, so there's things that I wing. Like example, summer squash. This year, I'm actually pushing it. May 1st. The week of May 1st, I'm going outside and I'm sowing my summer squash. I want to... So if I sow on May 1st, I should have fruits within May 1st, June 1st, July 1st. Like I should be rained on of zucchini. And usually vine borers appear around that time. So that means I will be able to harvest a boatload of zucchinis and freeze it so that I can do my now favorite salsa, which is tomato and zucchini. But if I sow it mid-May, that means mid-May, mid-June, mid-July, the vine borers will like kill the plant and only give me like 2-3 zucchinis per plant. So those types of things I wing. I can cover with like I can go outside and put a couple of pots over like 10 zucchini plants. It's like super easy, and I can use my domes and like tie them on the plant and like make it work. But I don't take chances with tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. I don't. Chamomile tea. I didn't see that. Let me write it down. I'm probably going to do a chamomile tea tonight. Like the first brew of chamomile? Or the second brew? There's many people I know, I'm not going to name anyone, that calls me crazy for writing all of these things. I feel safer doing this, and it gives me, every single commercial grower does this for many reasons. So if the commercial grower does it, I kind of feel that, I'm doing a good thing by doing it. Me too, Karen. I was once very good at it. Last year I was horrible. There's years that I started, and then when April comes, like I stopped. I didn't even do a end of the year journal last year. So usually I sit down at the end of the season and I write the good, the bad, and ugly, and I just pour my heart out. And then in November, after all of those emotions are processed and I'm like somewhat rested, I read those notes, and I normally start planning my garden in just before the holidays. And then I complete it after the holidays. But this year I did it almost the end of January. And I'm like, I feel that this year I winged it a little bit more. One, experience. Two, most of my dates were already organized for me. And I just had to print out the sheets of last year and figure out what I wanted to grow. So I find that this year it was way easier. The only thing I'm struggling is the where I'm going to put it and how much I need of each. That is like very new to me. It's a concept I started doing last year with the course from the Académie Patagère. They tell me this amount of feet will give you this amount of food, and how much you think you need. And then like you kind of like fit it in your drawing. If I had an acre of garden, I would wing it too. Have a great night. Have a great week. Dream of pepper plants tonight. Okay. I wrote it down. I've always had that on my first. No, last year I had my soil, and I still had green on my onions. I don't know. I kind of like, sometimes I remove it. I think the first step I'm going to do, because this is going to be time consuming, I think I'm going to remove most of the green, like the much I can remove, put the cinnamon, and then maybe like cover it with like new soil. Maybe I'll start with that. Less time consuming. There's another information that I find very important. It's the last frost date, but the first frost date. So that also can be found on Almanac, or like you go on Google and you say, what is my last and first frost date? Because there is many, and Dave is the king of that, succession sowing. I'm not too familiar with it. I'm starting. So example, certain farmers, certain growers, commercial growers will start seedlings of lettuce every single week, or every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks, depending like the size of their lot, their needs, blah, blah, blah. Same thing for the gardeners. So here, I think you can sow lettuce every 3 weeks. So I try to do that. I try to do that with green onions. I try to do that with a fall garden. But you need to find out your last frost date. Sorry, first frost date. Hello, hello. Did I come in the right or at the end? No, you're still here. You're still good. You're still good. The max I'm going to go tonight is 9:30. Very good point. I'll need to start pushing it. What do you need to start pushing? Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? You mean to journal? Hello, hello, Mr. Fox. How are you tonight? I was supposed to talk about seed starting, but I kind of went like doot, doot, doot. Kind of went everywhere. And I was asking my viewers if they have questions, but they all know how to start seeds. And last week when I was live, the people that told me yes are not here tonight. So I hope they watch this on replay. I kind of try to change the word need and want would make my life easier. Because I kind of feel that when you say, I need to do this, it kind of puts pressure on you. Like, you're filming, right? Are you filming your sewing? Like Roots and Refuge Farm, her garden journal is done with her videos. So she sows seeds and she talks and she sows with seed, and like she wings it. But she has so much space. God, I would love to have her farm. My seed starts. Yeah, you're in the South. Like you're probably already sowing and reaping a lot of stuff right now. Nice. Like you missed, I showed the trays that I use, the soil blocker that I use. Oh, soil. I should have cleaned them before bringing them. Well, at least it shows you that I say that I love them, but like I use them. This one I just washed it. This one is made for two things. So this little block here makes. T'es sans boxer? Okay, no. Sorry, my husband just walked down the stairs. So this little blocks is for up potting these little ones. So this like fits almost perfectly. So when you use this one to start seeds, you just the bigger one, the 2-inch, you just put it inside. I really, really love these two. I'm slowly converting to mostly this soil blockers, but they are a little investment. But I find that if I had those when I started, it would have made my life so much easier. Like I used to use up mushroom crates, yogurt cups, solo cups. Hello, hello. Did you receive your kefir, water kefir? So I had solo cups and I bought cups, and I've asked everyone to bring me cups. But there's one thing that there's a video I see on TikTok all the time. So when someone is starting to take a pot and putting in the garbage, and then they say, no, it has potential. And then you see this big stack of pots, and there's like so much pots. I have like a Costco shelving full of pots. Full of like pots that don't fit together. And like I have bins. Well, no, the bins last year I gave them to a friend that was starting seeds, and like her operation is pretty small. So I gave her like all the ones that can stack one in each other, and I threw out the ones that were like the odds and ends. But if I knew what I know today, I think I would just have cell trays and the 10 by 20 trays, the deep ones and the shallow ones, and the netting and just those soil blockers, because you don't need anything else. And it's so easy to store. I have 4-inch pots. I have 3-inch pots. I have 3.5-inch pots. I have 2-inch pots. There's so much. And then I have all the pots that everyone brings me. These styrofoam pots that you buy like 10 or 12 tomato plants or pepper plants and all that. I keep them for seed cells. So like I try like to get those out, but like I need to store them, and it's like, So I did film one of them. I've been doing weekly updates on the mall as well. Still can't direct so outside just yet. No, still can't direct so outside. We've been having some nasty weather. Also, you use soil blockers too. Yay! So I fell in love with soil blocking. Who introduced me to soil blocking? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Whispering Willow Farm. No, it was before that. It's been a while. So my loofahs right now are in 4-inch pots, and the seeds are pretty old. So I'm gonna let 2 seedlings live in the 4-inch pot. But I do have a 4-inch soil blocker. I think I'm gonna try to see what performs better if I can, because it's kind of hard to take an actual seedling and put it into a soil blocker. I've tried it last year. It was a little bit of a mess, but I'm going to see. I think the only pots I would keep if I had to would be the 4-inch and my 3-inch. The rest I would donate. Like I have 2-inch I want to donate to schools and to other areas. Like it's good to start something to start with. The 4-inch I want to keep them. They were given to me. They're high quality. They're sturdy. They're the pots that like rosemary comes in. They're not like squishy. They're like very firm. So there must have been like very expensive. So I wash them and I use those to sell herbs or to give out as gifts. So usually what I do for the teachers gift at the end of the season, I give them herbs like lavender, rosemary, basil. Not last year, but the year before, I bought 9-inch like oval, and I had one tiny Tim, one tiny, so it was dwarf basil, and then on the other side it was thyme. And I gave that to the teachers. Because they'll need little teepees. Oh, my loofah just sprouted. So my loofahs, I was so sad. My loofah rot. I had 11 loofahs. 6 were tiny, so I knew those were like not going to do anything. But I had 6 or 5 that was like looking really good. And then when I went to peel them, they were rotten inside. I was like, ah! I was so mad. For me, it was garden bush. I'm trying to remember where I saw them. I know it's online. It doesn't come back to me. So my first, I think I bought the duo at Lee Valley. So I would have to look. I think it was like the first year of COVID. I think so. They were on back order, and I had to wait, and they were like very affordable at the time. So that's why I kind of regret not going in that direction. There is also another option that I saw on Lee Valley. You buy like this little wood thing and you use newspaper and you create pots. But I find that the soil blocker, when you have like this kind of operation that we have, is like faster than making your own pots with paper. I'm really, this bugs me. This bugs me. It's not Whispering Willow Farm. It's not Am I a Gardener. I know, it's Justin Rose. He was the one that was using them. But then someone else convinced me. I know there's a lot of YouTubers now using it. I just started following You Can't Eat the Grass. I think it's also my third. Like my two serious, and like one I received them on the later side, and like you kind of have to get used to it. Large Fiskark Black. Is that the name of the channel? Because that does not ring a bell. I'm on my second season with loofahs. I did pretty decent first year. Got more than enough seeds. I saved the seeds of the one that were rotten, so I don't know where I put them though. I have to go check that if they don't do well. I still have like maybe a week left. Block. You could slice in half. I could. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so many seeds. They were dried out, but they smelled mold. Like when I opened them, there was like this big smell of mold, and I was like, "Oh, not touching that." So both of mine are from, these ones are from Lee Valley. The 1.5 inch I have, which equivalents to the 72 plug tray, I think I bought it at West Coast Seeds. And my 4-inch, I bought it last year, and it was a big investment. I never used it. It was meant for my tomato plants, but I don't know if I will end up using it other than from herbs, like to sell as arrangement. Like I was brainstorming with another lady that was using soil blockers, how to sell seedlings at a seed sale with soil blockers. Like we went back and forth trying to figure out what to do to sell our seedlings, because like we no longer want to buy pots, solo cups, or whatever to transplant. Let me try to find out. Lee Valley. It's been a while, so let's see if it's still in my emails. Okay. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. 2021 row covers. Soil cube block mold set out of stock. So I ordered mine in February of 21, but it was back ordered till March 19. So I received them, I think, a little later than that. So I got them mid-season 21. So you got them earlier. Well, no, since you got them at Christmas 2020, you probably used them for the season of 21. So we probably started about at the same time. Has a cheaper soil. Oh, really? I use the 3/4 one. I don't know if it's the same brand of the soil blocker. But there's the only down thing that I feel for this one is that this part is in plastic. The rest, all of it is in metal, but like this part is in plastic. It's the only negative thing I have to say, but like it's been like I've been using it for 3 years now and it never broke, but I would love to have it in stainless steel. No, actually you'd be surprised. So I can start on one 10 by 20 low, shallow. I can start 240 seeds in one plug tray. And then I use the 2-inch with the adapter. So this you can fill in the little mini blocks. So you take the blocks of this and you can fit it in a 2-inch. And then you have depending of what you do, if you stick them close together, you can have a 50 little blocks of 2-inch of soil blocker. Or if you want to separate them, you can have 40. I love to germinate almost anything. So the only thing I do not germinate are bigger seeds like summer squash, winter squash, melon. I have cucumbers that are small enough, but I use my 1.5 soil blocker to germinate the cukes, and my 2-inch, and I change the adapter. I put the dibble in it instead of the square, and I use the 2-inch blocks for the bigger seeds. What else? So there's cuke melons, squash, summer squash. The rest pretty much fit in that little dibble. So I'm going to try not to get too much soil. So like you see this dibble, it does that indentation into that little block. And like I can fit, like a pepper seed fits perfectly in there. And there's a lot of advantages to have those in little blocks. There's a term for that. It's aired. You're probably gonna remember. It's Rachel, right? Brampton Gardner. I wouldn't put loofahs in 1-inch, but it's air pruned, so you don't have to acclimate it because it's air pruned. Like you have to make the acclimation outside, but you have like sturdier plants because it has that. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on comments. I have to check my receipts. No, soil blocker. I have. If anyone needs loofah seeds, I have more than plenty. And it makes a large mound too. Yeah. And it makes a large mound too, about the size of a solo cup. Sell it. You mean the 4-inch? I could sell it. I have 4 of them. I have the 3/4, 1.5, which I do lettuce, cabbages, cucumbers. Anything I used to put in 72 plug trays goes in the 1.5-inch. And then tomatoes, peppers go in the 2-inch because I found out last year that you can leave them in the 2-inch if you fertilize them instead of putting them in the 4-inch. So I'm going to see. Because the 4-inch, I would be able to put in one tray. Så fick it size 4 deep. Like I wouldn't be able to put a lot. So my trays are 10 by 20. So I can put 2 blocks per, so that's 2 rows. And so that would be like 10 plants per tray with the 4-inch soil blockers. So if I have 100 tomato plants, that's a lot. But if ever I have that seedling house, I could use the 4-inch. I did on my small street sale. Just use box. Yeah, I could do that. I think I saw your video with the tomato blooming. Okay. Air pruning. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yes, Rachel. I remember. I hope I can remember from now on. It was a big investment. Like I bought it 3 payments. Like I saw the Arkansas Whispering Willow Farm teamed up with him for like a sourdough course, and he's like hardcore, like making byproducts to use with the soil blockers. It's amazing what he has, and he has the 4-inch soil blocker. I was like, oh, it should be nice. I normally up pot in 3-inch, and then the course I followed last year, they say to up pot. I can't remember peppers, but they say to up pot tomatoes in 4-inch. So I was like, okay, so if they're doing it, I'm going to do it. And then I ended up not using it. But I could sell it. But I want to hold on to it just a little longer to make sure that I don't need it. I don't need seeds. Did I say that? I don't need more seeds at the moment. Wait, at the moment, I do not need more seeds. I need to find currants, white currants and pink champagne currants cuttings, but no seeds. I paid $80 for the sets. I paid my 3/4 in 2-inch. Like I had the receipt. I think it was 49. No, sorry, it was 89. It was 89. I think it's one for 49. So the mini was 89. Today is, I think it's much more than that. That's a nice gift from me to me. I think I had the desire to convert to soil blocking, but it kind of hit me not last year but the year before, like how much pots I had. In Marilyn from Little Homestead by the Beach, and she said she wanted to go a little greener. She wanted to get rid of some of the pots and like have like a smaller impact. And I kind of like, I felt what she was saying, and it is true. So if I can do a plat sale without, well, obviously I have to liquidate the pots that I have and like say no to the people that brings me more. But I would love to. There was one thing we found. It was like a carton that we could buy, but the soil blockers could not be wet. The other thing we found was a biodegradable. There's a lot of farm when you buy produce that has that. It's like a little crate. You have like the mushroom. It's like it's a carton, but it's biodegradable. And we found like 1,000 for not that expensive, and you can fit, I think it was 6 little cubes, which I found interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't enlarge the garden this year. Well, no, I am adding one raised bed, but I'm destroying some this year. So I'm adding one place, but I'm emptying. I destroyed one last year and then created one, so kind of neutralizes that. I created my food forest, and I sacrificed a lot of my rows for my hascaps. I'm gonna close the camera and I'm gonna go get one. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So this is you put your tomatoes in that. But the one I found, okay, let me just remove the comment. Okay, so the one I found was like flat. So instead of being tall, it was about this tall, and it was like a little bit bigger. So it was like maybe twice the size of this, and then like shallow. And this is biodegradable. It's carton. No, I don't do the paper pots. Like if I was this very small gardener, like 10, 20 tomato plants and like 10 pepper plants, I would do the paper pots. But I am not. I am not there. But they do work well. Small single cells. There is something I saw. The lady was wrapping the soil blockers with newspaper. So she was telling the person to bring a box, and she was just like wrapping around the soil blocker with newspaper, and she would drop them in a box. But not everyone would bring a box. So it kind of, and then the lady I was talking to, she says, well, maybe we could come up with a quick way of making paper pots, like rectangle paper pots. I'm like, that's a lot of work. So I really enjoy those little plates. I'm ordering from Loofah Farms, and I have a crate like this of tomatoes every week. And I'm keeping them in case I have like extra produce I want to sell, or seedlings if ever I go in that direction. You save your tiny for a restaurant supply and gets nice. Did I miss anything? Is Dave leaving? Okay, no, you're saying hi. That's nice. That's very nice. But I don't know if I'm having a seed sale this year. I know that I sell my overstock, and I have 3 clients. But I don't think I'm going to be advertising. Like I had this vision of like rosemary, lavender cutting, like making a lot of cuttings and there's a weekend here in my village that we're allowed to have a table outside, and like I would have my seedlings there and sell them. But it's a lot of work. I know. I did find online. It's just I wanted to find a good deal. But this year I'm going to use up the pots that I have here that I want to eliminate. And like, I'm kind of reusing, recycling, upcycling, whatever you call it. I'm not buying something new. They are. And I was selling my seedlings cheap. The first year I was selling them $1 each. And then I went to $1.25, $1.50, and then $2, $2.25, and $5 a set of 6. Like I was not selling them to make a huge profit. You can't eat the grass. Quit doing the seedling sales. Really? Wow. For some homestead, like I don't know if they still do it because I stopped following them. Living Tradition Homestead, they would go to the food market every Saturday with seedlings, and they had like this huge seedling operation, and he was like the backbone of their operation. Like they didn't work, so YouTube was a revenue for them. they were selling produce, and they were also selling seedlings. So it was like a big revenue for them. Yeah, well, a lot of people told me that I should sell them $5 each. So I was like, I feel bad. Like, I feel bad selling $5 a seedling. I feel really bad. If like I was supposed to have a seedling operation going on, like building a seed greenhouse, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Um, and I was like, when I have that, like, I'll just bring everything outside. Everything's going to have a place. I will just need a bit of supplemental light for certain things, and I'll have like clippings, like a little like auxiliary or heating. And then I would bring out my peppers, my tomatoes, and like just complement the heat for like keeping it at night at 20 degrees Celsius. Have like warm pads there, like to have like a good operation going. With my lights that I have, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. So I have like leggy plants sometimes, and I kind of like I up pot them, and sometimes I have to chop the head off of my tomato plants, root it, and resow it so like I can kind of bring down the plant. It was like a 24-inch tall plant, and I had to cut the head and like resow it. So I felt bad selling them $5. I didn't. If people are too crazy to stick some dirt, crazy a cup. Yeah. Well, it's not sowing the seed that's the problem. It's the waiting, the transplanting, the nurturing, the watering. Lazy, sorry. It is a lot of work. But when you think of it, the seedling portion is not the hardest part. It's when you think of it, it's when you transplant it. That's when the hard part starts. So you're outside in burning heat. Sometimes I'm outside working, weeding in the rain. People are calling, well, not anymore, but they used to call me, hey, we're going out, we're going this. I'm like, I can't. It's raining, so that means I have to go pick up all of my tomato plants unless they will crack. So I was a party pooper. So that part is the hardest, I find. Yeah, definitely. Everything's expensive. Um, there is one thing that I enjoy with Seed Start and Sale. Occasionally, you meet gardeners that has a lot of knowledge. So I remember going to a nursery, and there was a woman just maybe like 10, 15 years older than me. So her kids were out of the house. She started having grandkids, and she went back to work, but she was a gardener at heart, and she works in a nursery. And we started like, there's no customers. I was at the day of opening. There was like me and like 20 other customers, and like the lot was like so huge. I love going there and like having a romantic walk in all of the greenhouses and like learning new flowers. And she had so much knowledge. I learned so much from her. There's many things I won't be able to do. Like, she had turkeys, she had porks, she had the whole 9 yards. And like, she told me about like sweet adventures that she had with her husband, like fun jokes, and told me tricks and how she got tomatoes. I don't have that problem when you are in an open field with tomatoes. You have certain critters that eat the top of your tomatoes, and she was telling me the tricks and tips and all of that she was doing. And I was like just listening to her, and I was like in an aha moment, because I had the privilege of sharing with another gardener like that maybe had like 20, 25 years of experience, and she was sharing that with me. So seed sale can bring a lot of heartache, but I find that if you can get like maybe like 5, 6 of those experiences with like potential buyers, it just makes it worth it. But it is a lot of work. Like you need to advertise it. You need to almost like slave yourself to prepare for it. And then at the end of the day, like you're super excited. But it does, I used to do it to refund my buying materials. So to pay back my seedlings I buy at the nursery, the trees that I buy, the live trees, and like all the tools that I require. Sometimes it would pay full, sometimes it would pay half. So it would kind of reimburse what I invested. I also sew, and people always undervalue them. Yeah, I undervalue my worth. I work construction with hubby. You have to charge what the work is worth, which includes tears and experience. Yes. Years as well, and a few tears. I find that homesteaders are either super young or super old. Some of the homesteaders I'm meeting lately are more my age, but all of them have something to bring to the table. So I don't know if he's still here. Thomas is super young, but he has so much energy. And I'm sure that if I would have a conversation with him, being brought up in agriculture and farming and uh, I'm going to say it, chasse, fishing, hunting, I don't have that. So he's, even though he's super young, he can bring so much to the table. And then grandmas, grandfathers, actually, I have people that lives nearby that are 80 and they come talk to me about their favorite flowers. And I had this lovely lady, now sadly she passed away. She was in, like, I think close to her 90s, and she was talking to me about her flower gardens and all the flowers and her favorites, and that she remember when she was on her knees and that she was sad she can no longer do it and she passed away. And like, it just made me feel so good to have those types of conversation, because like when you feel like the black sheep and like you're not normal, you quit your full-time job, a career, 10 years to stay home to grow food. People thought I was nuts. Ironically, every time I see people and they say, hey, if there's an end of the world, I'm coming to your place. I wonder why they say that. They know I have food. And this is why I do lives on Sundays. Because, like, look, Karen gave me an idea of video. Is it you? Or Rachel, is it you that gave me the trick? No, I think it was Karen also. And you gave me tricks on other stuff. Like, it's so fun. I agree. Not only that, you can always learn something new that you can apply. I think that when someone talks to you about their experience, so I can sit down with you and like talk with a new gardener or somewhat experienced, like first year, second year, and I can have an idea, an opinion, an experience, and then you go back home, and then this is where you say, I'm taking this in, and this can go, bloop, nope, that's not working for me. But like you kind of have like base to start working. I would love, when I started homesteading, if I had like a base of something, like not jumping in like a never ending hole and like going echo, not knowing where I was going. And having those conversations would have made my life so much easier. My 94-year-old great aunt who gardened didn't do well last year. Oh no, from the fires, but was relieved she didn't have to go. She didn't have to, yeah, the canning. It's fun. You know, the garden is like, sowing is so exciting. Transplanting is super exciting. And then you have a load of work to maintain a garden. And then when you have like lots that are big like ours, and like you plan on, okay, so you look at your tomato plants and like everything's fine. You look at your pepper plant, everything's fine. And then you plan something and then nature like, no, no, this is not happening for you. I have other plans for you. And then like you have to harvest like 50 pounds of tomatoes and process them like almost right away. Cause like for God knows what reason, like they just change color overnight. My aunt homestead when I was a kid. I wish I'd spend more times. I did not grow up in an agriculture family. I would have loved that. I did grow up with my grandma that used to bake a lot. It was like from prepackaged stuff. Like she would buy like already made pie crust and like pie filling and then like make it. But I don't know, for a reason her pies always taste better. For myself, it's just sort of jump into the deep end, grew a few little plants. That's pretty much what happened to me. Then from there, I went nuts. Each consecutive year passed. 2018. Then from there, I went nuts. Each consecutive year passed. Now I feel I need like 3. Yeah, that's about it. Like you realize at one point, like your craziness is like requiring you to have 3 to 5 acres. He's like, how did that happen? Like I only needed a 30 by 30 garden when I started. It's like now I need like an acre. Yeah, it does escalate quickly. I think I've reached like the maximum capacity of my garden. I won't be able to expand that much. So I think Fox is living in a rural area, unless he moved. I am on a third of an acre, 15,000 square feet. And every single area I can grow food, I grow food. I leave places for the kids, for the swing sets and all of that. But whatever I can grow food, I have food. I sadly don't have 3 to 5 acres, but I am doing extra well for the space. You grow in pots all around your house, if my memory is correct. So I have a 2-story house in 15,000 square feet. On that, I have my shed. In the shed, there is a tool shop. There is a storage area for hay. There's my chickens, my ducks, and my rabbits. And then I have my tunnel. I have a storage shed for my husband in front of the house, a storage shed in the back of the house for like the winter stuff we don't use, and then the summer stuff we don't use. But I have a lot, like my in-ground garden is probably like 40 by 40. I have a lot of gardens. for one person, like last year when I crashed, I was looking at all that growing space and I was like, I'm nuts. Like I have at least 2,500 square feet of gardening space. At least, if not more. Probably, yeah. Probably close to like between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet of growing space. It is crazy. Vertical helps a lot. So my cucumber plants are vertical. My all my squashes are vertical. My melons, I never get to that. Like I only had one cantaloupe. That's it in all my growing. So I grow vertical. My beans are bush, so they don't require. My peas, they grow tall. Well, it is fun that your family lets you grow food. I missed my two dogs, so I have Luna, my oh, I forgot to say this. I'm gonna have to say it on another live. So I did get the mix of breeds for my dog Luna. I made a introduction video of Luna, so I knew that the mother was a husky, but we didn't know what the father was because he was a mixed breed. So I don't know the specific percentage for Luna, but her brother did the score. He looks more of a husky than Luna, but we found out that she has many mixes in her. So it is Siberian Husky, Boston Terrier, Super Mutt, I don't know what that is, German Shepherd, Doberman Pinscher, Alaskan Malamute, Arendelle Terrier, and Boxer. So from now on, I can no longer say that Luna is a Husky German Shepherd mix. I will have to say that she is a. Oh, I know the mom. The mom was a. It's funny because the mom should be like she's 100% Husky, but when we add up the percentage of 36.4, 7.8. So the mom is 44% Husky. So she has something else in her. So I have to call Luna a Husky mix. Okay. I grow in pots and raised beds, 4 wood raised beds, and 10 steel tote in about 2 dozen assorted containers. I grew like 30 tomato plants in a pots and 25 pepper plants. I will not say again how much tomato plants I grew last year. I am growing vertical to some extent. I have a setup of 5 archways. Nice. I want to add archways this year. Adding a 6 arch. I have a green stock. So a while back, a Canadian app used to carry it. What was it called? Wish? No. I don't think I still have it. Anyways, there was like a Canadian app that you can get it. And I got the 4-tier green stock. Yeah, only fan. Yeah, it is super mutt. So her brother, when I looked at the percentage, so her brother is 11.9% super mutt. That's a lot. That's a lot. So like the 3 first is Siberian Husky, Boston Terrier, and Super Mutt. So obviously Luna is different because her hair of her the hair she has is more the German Shepherd. So instead of being 9.2% German Shepherd, maybe it's higher than that. But like Super Mutt, when I saw it, I was like, whoa. Yeah, definitely. So the Husky female was outside, unattended, in her heat period, and got caught by this dog that we have no idea the mix. So we're thinking that the female has like Super Mutt, Iberian, like the 2 Husky. That's Malamute and Husky is like probably that. And she probably has a 4th because she's on a smaller side. When I saw her, and then she's like, she's a Husky. I'm like, she looks like a Husky that was either crossbred with a Pomeranian There's mini huskies. It's husky mixed with that one. I have such a hard time saying it. They are beautiful Malamutes. I feel that Luna's tail and the type of fur that she has is kind of like a Malamute. One of my friends used to have a Malamute, and he was beautiful. He was majestic. He was huge. Poor thing. When it's 20 degrees outside, he was like hyperventilating. Like she needed to have like the air conditioning on in May because the poor dog was suffering. Me too. I just saw the time. Have a nice week. It was nice chatting with you. Pompons. Pomeranian? I have a hard time saying it. Well, I'm going to go also hit the sack, and I have a video that's coming out Tuesday, and it is part of the collaboration, an open collaboration of canning. So I'm almost done finishing editing it. It should be out on Tuesday. So everyone have a nice evening. Right. I should learn that because I can't pronounce pulmonary. Pums. My French tongue like always wants to come out when I say those words. So have a wonderful week, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye. Have a great week.